Representatives of the world's top tennis stars have been meeting with officials at the Australian Open to demand a bigger share of the tournament's revenue. The Professional Tennis Players Association is seeking increased prize money and greater consultation over tournament scheduling, as well as more commercial freedom. Just days into this year's extravaganza, the Australian Open is already boasting record crowds after unveiling a substantial increase in its prize money. But is it enough? I'm joined by Tom Larner, who is Tennis Australia's Chief Tennis Officer. Mr. Larner, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Sunday was the first day of the official competition, but over 250,000 spectators had already passed through the gates before that. You must be pretty thrilled by those numbers.
Yeah, it's been great. There's so much interest in the sport, in the event, and it's been a really good first couple of days.
Now, there were a few complaints from fans that while they bought tickets to opening week, it actually included qualifiers and not the first week of the main tournament. Could the marketing of some of those passes have been handled better?
Look, we've had opening week for 3 years now, and we've always included qualifying week. It's the first time we've really opened the site up fully to have the ballpark for our kids and families. And a lot more music on site and a lot of activation right throughout the week. So we'll always listen to our fan feedback, but I think at $20 for adults and $10 for kids, I think those who came along during opening week saw incredible tennis at the core of what we do, but also had a great time on the site as well.
General ground passes were also paused yesterday due to the sheer number of people turning up. That led to some very long lines outside the stadium, and today crowds were told to expect up to 2-hour delays to enter the stadium. Was Tennis Australia caught off guard here?
Look, I think this is the second year we've had a Sunday start at the event, and we had around 15,000 more people come this year than last year. It was a record day yesterday by about 7,000, so certainly crowds were bigger than we expected. But we've actually had a bigger crowd on site today. It's the record crowd at the Australian Open, over 101,000 people, and our queues have certainly flowed a lot better today. So, I think day one coming in, particularly at one gate on the eastern side of the site, we had longer waits than we would like, absolutely. But I think we've really improved that flow today, and with bigger crowds again, those queues, whilst big, you're always going to get big queues coming in, were moved really quickly and have been well managed.
Is it a bit of a learning curve at the moment? Are you still discussing ways that this can be avoided in the future?
Look, we'll always listen to fan feedback about how we can do, and thankfully for us, I think the event's been hugely positive. Once those people have come on site, they've had a fantastic experience. We've had great weather, and we'll always look to continue to improve the event.
Now, in a time where cost of living is front and centre, the Aussie Open has copped a bit of flack regarding some of its pricing, whether it's certain tickets towards the end of the tournament or for food and drink and so forth. Last year, Tennis Australia described the Australian Open as the most affordable event there is. Is that still the case?
Yeah, well, look, last year we had obviously 1.2 million people come through the gates, and we had around 40% of our tickets were under $50 across the whole event. So we always want to make our event affordable, give people a great experience on the precinct, give them opportunities to see the tennis, and that's what opening week's all about, and that's what obviously the main draw is all about as well.
Now, we mentioned the ongoing dispute between the Professional Tennis Players Association and the 4 Grand Slam tournaments about pay and conditions. Now, it's been reported that Tennis Australia was dropped from an antitrust lawsuit with the PTPA upon reaching a settlement agreement with the association to provide facts and information relevant to the case. Why did Tennis Australia decide to do so?
Well, look, from our perspective, we want the players to be remunerated appropriately. We've increased prize money this year by 16%. There's over $111 million in the prize pool for the Australian Open and over $135 million for the summer of tennis. So from our perspective, each year we try and improve the experience the players have and ensure that they're appropriately remunerated, and to continue to grow the event to enable that, as well as obviously to invest back into the sport.
What else would Tennis Australia like to see come out of these discussions?
Well, we really want to see a future of the sport where our players make money, not just at the top level, but right down through the player pathway. We know that our investment into prize money is not just for the winners, but we've had significant investment into qualifying, and we want to absolutely see a sustainable future for our champions and to increase the skill right down to improve and create a more compelling product right through the tennis network for our fans to see. So we'll continue to invest in prize money, not just at the top level, but right down through both qualifying and right through the summer of tennis as well.
Now, just on that, the Australian Open's record prize money for this year is a little over $111 million. That's about 16% of the $700 million that Tennis Australia made last year, but players are asking for at least 22%, which is in line with what other tours offer. Is that a reasonable expectation?
Yeah, look, it's not as simple as that. I think, obviously what you're looking at there is Tennis Australia's total revenue, which comes from a range of activity, including other tournaments as well. So we obviously invest $135 million in prize money right across all the events that we run. But the broader point around ensuring that players are appropriately remunerated, we're absolutely on board with, which is why we've been working with the players to make sure that we're growing prize money and that we see a strong future for tennis and a strong future to continue to grow prize money.
Tom Larner, the Chief Tennis Officer at Tennis Australia, thank you very much for your time this evening, and good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, Manny. Bye.